Hello everyone, today I will show you absolute best graphic settings for squad 8.2.1. I hope you guys will enjoy the video. If you do, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and without wasting any more time, let's go straight into it. So the first setting you want to change is select use my preference and make sure to select on balance, make sure you apply the setting. And then we want to switch to the advanced 3D settings, and let's go to manage 3D settings. Okay, so another thing here that we want to change is anisotropic filtering. Make sure it's on application control. Another setting will be the anti-aliasing mode. Make sure this setting is on off. System fallback policy. Make sure you select prefer system fallback. Make sure the low latency mode is on. This is a very important setting. In OpenGL, you want to make sure the prefer performance is selected. Make sure the power management mode is on adaptive over here. Over here, preferred refresh rate. Make sure it's on highest available. In the shader cache size, make sure it's on 5 or 10 gigabytes, depending how much RAM do you have, guys. Next setting will be the negative LOD bias. Make sure this setting is on allow over here. The most important setting probably in all of these settings is texture filtering quality over here. Make sure this is on performance. Tuner optimization should be on. Trailer optimization should be on as well. Make sure these settings are on. Vertical VSync. Of course, make sure this is on off. This is very bad setting. You don't really want to have that on. Triple buffering should be off as well. And over here in the Vulkan OpenGL preset method, make sure it's on prefer native as well. After you're done with it, guys, select apply on the bottom right corner, and let's keep going with the settings. So the next setting will be configure sound physics. Make sure you select your main graphics card over here and make sure you apply it. Okay, we're gonna keep going, guys. Over here in change resolution, you want to make sure to use Nvidia color settings and select output dynamic range, guys, to full. Over here in adjust desktop color settings, you want to make sure to boost your digital vibrance. My recommendation will be around 75. I personally use 80 just because it's easier to spot enemies and the game looks very more alive and beautiful. So that's my recommendation. We're jumping to adjust desktop size and position. Over here, we don't change the aspect ratio or full screen. We're gonna keep that as it is. And we're gonna select performance scaling on GPU. Pretty much last setting, we want to go to adjust video color settings and go to advanced over here. Make sure you select with Nvidia settings and change the limited to full. Make sure you apply another time. And that will be all settings, guys. So now we're gonna hop into the squad.
So as you can see, guys, we're already in the squad, and let's start with the field of view. So my preference personal is 95, but what I would say, guys, is to go under 100. Okay, let's switch to graphic settings right now. So we're gonna start with the window mode. The full screen might be the best because it gives you a lowest latency, but if you're a person who alt tabs a lot, then make sure it's on borderless. Resolution, obviously you want to go as high as you can, but my recommendation is not to go 4K, never in this game, just because it's not good optimized yet. My recommendation, the highest resolution would be just 2K, but you guys should already know that, so let's keep going with this. Resolution scale, obviously leave it at 100. VSync, make sure this setting is on off. Next setting is the Nvidia Reflex, low latency. My recommendation for everybody with RTX would be enabled, obviously. Render, so for most of you guys with 30 series, 20 series, Direct 11 will work just fine. If you do have AMD graphics card, then make sure to select Direct 12. Scope, image clarity, make sure to prioritize clarity in scopes. Scope resolution 100, never change that. Another setting is anti-aliasing. If you guys have 16 gigabytes of RAM, I would say use this, enable AA, put it low and times 4. The game looks very nice with this setting on. It just makes the weird artifacts and very ultra sharp edges, smooth them a little bit and looks just way more realistic and smooth for your eye. So that's my recommendation. If you do have lower than 16 gigabytes of RAM, or just old RAM basically, then my recommendation would be to turn this setting off, because this setting does affect your gameplay and it will use your RAM basically in the background and your PC power. So again, for anybody with under 16 gigs of RAM, set this to off. And as well for GPUs like I don't know, GTX 6050, 6060, if you don't have super as well, my recommendation would be to select it on off, because you want as much frames as you can get, and this changes your game by few frames. So with this setting on, you might get 3 FPS difference, but if you play a lot, then it might matter in the longer period of time. Upscale method, do not use this, but if you guys really badly struggle with FPS, my recommendation for, of course, RTX would be DLSS 3. For AMD FSR, and just that's my 2 recommendations, and I would only say that use it if you have under like 50 FPS, because these 2 settings can change your resolution and make it blurry, so I would not really recommend this for anybody, but this is again something you try to avoid. Dynamic mesh quality, personally when I was trying it, it just decreases your FPS the higher you go, so keep it on low. And yeah, what it changes is the rendering of the advanced animations in the background from different distances, so make sure you have it on low. Low quality environment, do not touch this. This just makes your game look like really badly basically, and I wouldn't recommend this for anybody. Material quality, medium. I would recommend everybody to go medium if you have like any sort of RTX or even GTX 1660 Super. my recommendation would be to put it on medium. If you have again something like GTX 6050, then make sure you have it on low, because this use your VRAM of your graphics card, your RAM, and your CPU, basically everything. This is like the texture quality setting, but a bit different. So my recommendation for everybody is medium. If you guys do have something like RTX 2080 or 3070, then my recommendation would be to put it on high. But again, if you have something like minimum of 8 gigabytes of VRAM, then I would consider this setting. If you have 6 gigabytes or lower VRAM, then make sure to select it on medium. Texture quality, this might be a little bit personal. I would say for lower end PCs, like RTX 6060, even the GTX 6050, some lower graphics card, if you can afford, select it on medium. And this is the setting you want to have the highest. So just make sure you have, let's say, medium at least. Do not put it on low if you can. Now, if you have 6 gigabytes of VRAM like I do, or 8 gigabytes, my personal choice would be to go high, because the most important thing that it uses from your PC is the VRAM and computing power from your GPU, basically. But again, 8 or 6 gigabytes of VRAM, go high. If you have 10 or above, maybe go epic, but my only suggestion would be if you have something like, let's say, RTX 3070, 2080, because RTX 3060 is not good enough to handle the epic textures, and it's not that worth it, guys. The high should be the best choice, because the epic textures just have a little bit more details into them, but in my opinion, it's not really worth what you pay for, basically. So again, I leave this up to you guys, but that's my personal choice. Texture pool VRAM usage, you don't want to go above, like, let's say above like 40-30% of your max VRAM, because you need to have some left. Uncapped texture pool size, just leave it this setting, do not even worry about this. Shadow quality, I would say with good PCs, leave it on medium, because any higher setting will just eat your frames like crazy, and it's not recommended at all. If you guys does struggle with FPS, if you have under 120 FPS, I would still consider to having a low setting. The medium setting does decrease your FPS by like 8 frames sometimes, so in my opinion, it's not worth it, but the shadows looks much better though with the medium shadows on. So I have to say that, guys. I made the conclusion. This is really just changes how the shadows behave, and my personal choice is low. It doesn't really change the visual of your game, so my recommendation is just low, so you get as much frames as possible, guys. Screen space AO. This adds some depths, like dark shadows to specific places, just like technically should be in real life, but again, it's something you don't really pay attention to anyways, and it just eats your frames in the background, especially in like Fallujah or other map where there's urban environment. Particle quality, this might be a bit personal. Personally, I was struggling with the high setting, sorry, with like epic setting when I had it, because if there's many vehicles shooting around and people, your FPS just decreases dramatically, and you will see that your frames drops a lot, and it's not enjoyable as much. So what I would say, guys, maybe play with the high epic settings if you guys see that you have lots of frames to spare, because it does look much better, I have to be honest, but otherwise I would not consider going higher. In my opinion, low setting looks still pretty decent, and it just gives you way more frames in the background, so this setting basically makes your game run smooth all the time, pretty much. With the higher settings, it's very unstable, so again, that's something I would pay attention to, and that's my recommendation, guys. But as I said, play with the high epic setting and see if you like it more, and if it's worth it for you, then make sure to select epic or high. Now, ocean quality. I did not test that setting, to be honest with you guys, but again, it's something that doesn't really matter. It's your frames in the background when there's like a lot of ocean on the map, and you want to make sure you have as much frames while you're playing on the ground, so make sure this setting is on low. Wake simulation, I don't really know what it does, how it changes the FPS in game, but I just have it off. Again, it's something I don't really need, so that's my choice. Post-processing, sorry guys. Post-processing quality, I have this on low. It just changes how flare behaves, some of the sun. In my opinion, on low setting, it looks amazing already. I mean, guys, you can see how the game looks right now. In my opinion, it's beautiful, and yeah, if I think it's just pointless really for something to eat more frames in the background already if game looks that way. That's why the setting should be on low for you as well, and for everybody else. Lens flares, I have this on off. I don't really care about this. This doesn't change pretty much anything. It changes slightly how the sun behaves, but that's really about it basically. Motion blur, make sure you have this on 0. Screen sharpening, it's something really personal depending on your monitor and how sharp your screen is. My personal choice is 0.5. You guys might play with 1 on, let's say, if you have especially if you have anti-aliasing option. But if you guys have it off, the anti-aliasing option, then make sure you have the screen sharpening on 0 or like 0.2, 0.25, something like that, to not oversharp the game. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. If you're new to my channel, again, leave a like and subscribe, and let me know what you think about the video, guys. And see you in the next one, guys. Have a great day, and yeah, see you in the next one.